It's kind of good to be here for my annual appearance. I'm a designer more than anything else, so this is like walking into the lion's den with all these intruders. But I want to talk to you tonight about prototyping for the masses, because prototyping software has really come alive. Is anybody here not using prototyping software? Oh, bad call. So, you have to admit that, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, prototyping software kind of didn't exist. And now, all of a sudden, with the growth of UX and UI, it's all over the damn place. And so what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about some of the apps that are out there. The ones I will not talk about tonight is InVision. Okay, so I'll be staying away from that beast. And maybe show you a couple that you might be interested in. But before we get started, for those of you who have never met me, you probably got this question going through your heads. Who is this guy? My name is Tom Green. I'm a professor of interactive multimedia at Humber College in Toronto. I teach with the multimedia faculty. That's my day job. Okay? Humber College, that's my day job. And then wrong machine. I'm an Adobe Community Professional. That's a group of about 300 of us around the world that go out and talk a little bit about working with Adobe software. I'm part of the Education Leaders Program. And just last month I was yanked into this, the LinkedIn Learning Insiders. What they're doing at LinkedIn, thank you, is they're pulling together a whole group of authors and experts that have sort of made a mark in LinkedIn and turning us into insiders. So our job is to sort of just talk about what we do, or what you do. And I'm also a writer. I don't know if any of you know. That's my latest book, Beginning at Animate CC. For those of you that are wondering what Animate CC is, that's Flash. Oh, that was ugly. Oh, that was harsh. So, and I also am an author with lynda.com. And I'm also the graphic software guy, I guess, at ThoughtCo, and I also take part in a weekly podcast called Pixel Pundits, where three of us get together and sort of talk through working with software. So let's go back to the main topic. Last year, Adobe came out with XD, and because I was one of these guys, I kind of got excited about the product. So I contacted my guy at Lynda, and I sent him a note saying, hey, XD's coming out, what do you think? And this is his reply: hey Tom, team loves the idea, especially in keeping it less than an hour, so it was sort of like Skim. And given its quick release candidate, it's got a green light. More on this at the break in 2016. Okay, so far so good? So we have Christmas, then this happened. Happy New Year. Dig it. My key would be making this a UX design tool, because I had stumbled across a Macintosh application called Principal. And I said, you guys thought about this one? And he said, good idea. So he now has me working on XD and Principal. Now, I knew nothing about Principal. I just seen it and I thought, send him a note saying, hey, have you guys got anything on Principal? And this is what comes back. Yeah, you can do the course. Pardon me. And then I started writing ebooks with UXPin, and he was asking me what I was up to, and I said, well, I'm doing these ebooks for UXPin about prototyping and wireframing and stuff like that. And he says, good. By the way, would you be interested in doing a UXPin course? And I've got XD, UXPin, and Principal. And then you'll notice right here, Proto.io. So I said, well, yeah, I've done a little tutorial on my About Guys, or it's now ThoughtCo, about using Proto, which I thought was kind of fun. He says, great, let's do another course. So now I've got 4 UX design tools course, and I just finished up a 2-hour thing on XD. So I'm in kind of a unique position, because I had to create a bunch of courses around a variety of prototyping applications in the vanguard of a new class of UX design applications, prototyping. Now, prototyping is kind of neat because you don't need to write code, but it answers the question that all you guys get asked: what does it do? Right? So you can use prototyping to, do apps. You can use prototyping for websites. You can use it for micro interactions. Who was here for my chat last year? You still figured out how to throw a curveball?
No,
I don't know what you were saying.
Clearly not.
It was fun.
It was fun.
The question I asked the crew at that presentation was to describe a curveball. And everybody tried to describe a pitcher throwing a curveball. And it got really techy. And really, what it turned out was that I had a video of it, and it just comes in just a little tiny bit. But the whole point of that was, you can't describe it, you have to show it. And this is kind of where these tools are starting to come in. So I'm going to talk to you about a few of them that I've come across. So what I've discovered is, not one app does it all. So you're not going to hear me saying, get out there and go get it. They don't do it all. UXPin is great. Proto.io is good. Principle is kind of interesting for showing interactions, but they don't do it all. Each one approaches interactivity and motion differently. Anybody here use XD? Experience design? Okay, so they got those little wires that you can drag to show, this goes here. And some of them have that. Others have this really crazy model where they throw in little containers. So instead of having something scroll sideways, it's got to go in a container, and then it's crazy. But they it does the same thing. User testing support is spotty. Some of them actually have a facility built in where you can actually send the project off to a company for user testing. One thing I have found, though, is that XD, Experience Design from Adobe, actually has a feature built in where you can throw up a prototype, put it in a lab, and record the user using it, and it will save the video, which I think is a kind of a killer feature. And you get two choices. They're either browser-based or they're local. That means it's a standalone application on your computer. I don't know how people feel about browser-based software, but if you're into that sort of thing, it really is a godsend because you can send it anywhere. And pricing models are all over the damn map. You're looking at one of them, you'll see a couple of them as I go through them, but one of them will give you 10 users for like $80 a month. Others will charge you, some insane amount, and it goes all the way down to free. Now, I don't think the free one is going to last much longer. That's Adobe Experience Design. Once they get that one figured out, away we go. So let's take a look at some of them. Oh yeah, sharing, inconsistent. Now, what I mean by that is that you can send your prototype out, and you can say, look at it, look at it, look at it, and some of them will let you actually add comments. Others will send out a video. It's just all over the map. And if you're going to be getting into the prototyping game, understand this is a new type of software that's out, or a new genre. So it's just like when Photoshop and some of the other apps came out, they're making it up as they go along. So we'll start with Proto.io. This is, I like this one. This is browser-based, and I'll just show you this site. So here it is here. So when you log in, all your projects are sort of shown here. And then you get edit or preview. And you can either edit it here, or you can actually open up a preview and you can do the user do a test right there. They all have the ability to, and I mean all of them, use Photoshop and Sketch, even Adobe apps, right there. Right? Adobe XD says, yeah, you can bring your sketch stuff in, no problem. We'll show you how to do it. I'm like, what? This is the user testing area for Proto. It's called Look Back. And Proto.io Spaces is kind of a neat place. What it is a user community is sending out projects, and you can tear the projects apart, see how they're done. So let's take a look at the interface. I'll just click the old edit button here, and there we go. All right. Now this interface is really kind of neat, because over here you get a whole bunch of libraries, and if you're a designer, this is cool beans, because you got all kinds of little icons and things that you can put in. Or if you want, you can actually pick up Material Design and Windows 8 and Watch OS templates. So you can throw the status bars and the interface bits and pieces in. Just going to get that out of the way. Over here is save, so once you've built your prototype, and by the way, with this one here, you can actually have multiple sizes. But if you save it, it's saved to the web or their website, and then you go into preview. And this is really a cool feature. This is one that none of the others have. So what it's doing is it's loading in the project, in theory. Come on. Okay? Now, watch this. I love this. This app actually gives you the opportunity to code up an orientation change. So you can look at it both sides of the fence. Is it going to be portrait or it's going to be landscape? And it will do it for you. But your interactivity is built in right here, as you can see. And if you want to scrub or drag, so you can just test it out a whole bit. The other thing it does have is a little app where you can actually sideload it onto your onto device for device testing. So that's Proto.io. Now the next.
No way to load it on your machine.
No.
Not even in browser mode?
No. One of the things it will do, though, this is where it gets gnarly. You can share your project. You can send a link. And it's going to ask you where you want to go, and then you can open a new window. So it just gives you that. Okay, I'm going to show you another one, which is UXPin. UXPin is kind of a neat, they're sort of the grand old man of the browser-based ones. So I'll show you this one. Now again, it's based off of a dashboard, so all your projects are up in here. You can actually have teams assigned to the project, so you can assign people to it. You can add new members to it, as you can see. And then when you come to your project, it's going to ask you if you want to edit it or preview it. And here's the UXPin interface. In theory. There we go. Now the really cool thing about this is, you notice that in Proto you only have one document open at a time. This one here, I've got this one set up for iPhone 5 and iPad, and it's just multiple tabs. So you can actually do adaptive design as you're moving through it. You get a whole library of stuff that you can add. UXPin has been really aggressive about this sort of thing. There we are. There are the libraries. And they have all kinds of them. These are just general web UI, but if you take a look, they got a whole bunch of them. And by the way, if you go to UXPin, you can actually download all these libraries. can make them available to you. They also do some wonderful books. Now everything that you work on here is on the artboard here. And you see that little arrow up there? That's the interactivity. And if I want to add interactivity to something, which I've kind of done with this, I said give it vertical scrolling, but if you want to add interactivity, you just click the little lightning bolt, add a new interaction, and you can basically do a ton of stuff with it. You can do swipes, taps, double taps, pinch, zoom. You can do all kinds of this stuff right inside this application. Now if I go to the preview, or the share, you can have it sent to you again, or this answers your question. HTML. Now with this group here, you're all looking at that going, bullshit. And I agree. Okay? This is not, you know, the only good code is the code you guys write. Okay, let's admit it. That almost got dangerous. But you can grab the code if you want it. Okay, the next one up is good old Principle. Now Principle is kind of interesting in that really all it does is it does interactions.
Just in case,
Yeah.
just in case.
So the interactions are up in here. And it's got this picture-in-picture thing. So if I want to, I can grab this little thing down here and just move it up, and you can see that I can get, you know, a little effect. So, you know, it's kind of neat. You explain to your client, well, you know, what happens is the temperature comes up and the image fades out. And, you know, it gets a little darker, so we've got some contrast. And the client's going, what are you talking about? So now you can show it to them. And the really cool thing is here, you can record the test if you want. And then right here, these are the interactions. So I can set the how the motion moves, how it moves between screens. And you notice you've got all the eases in there. Now, UXPin and Proto have a very robust series of excuse me, of eases. I mean, they've got them all. It's crazy, I know, but XD doesn't. It's got the very basic stuff. But again, with this one here, you can save it as a PRD file. You've got it. You can share it. You can put teams together. Drivers, how things move. Okay, so I've got animation here, but I've also got a driver that says when I click on or drag that thing up, it uses a driver to change the opacity. And you can see it's sort of here. And you're looking at that going, 800 seconds? You gotta be kidding me. No. That's distance on the screen. Okay? And then finally, good old XD. This one here, I think it's got legs. I really do. There are two views here. There's Prototype and DesignWe'll. Watch out for this. Watch out for this one. Just watch out for it. Because if you set up an artboard and drop an image in, it may go in at 2x or it may go in at 1x. You just never know. But they still haven't quite figured that one out. And the prototype view basically is all the little arrows. That's the interactivity right there. You just drag a little wire on it. Okay? And now for something completely different. I'm going to go back to Keynote. Anybody here familiar with origami?
Yes.
Okay, so what you do now is you're Facebook, and you've got a bunch of developers, and they just don't get using things like XD and stuff like that. So Facebook says, let's turn it around. Let's just put the stuff over here and let you work out the logic. And that's exactly what origami does. I don't know how to describe it. It's like an electrical kit where you just join one event or operation to another, and it creates this whole thing here. I don't know if I've got origami open. Yeah, I did. So you got all these patches. So it's just when it taps, flip, and then use the switch, set the pop animation to bring it up, do a transition that will progress, and then show me the photo. So here we go. All the logic is right there. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy stuff. It's totally flipped. So there are all kinds of choices out there, and it's kind of fun, actually, for me, because it's a new piece of, it's a new genre of software. I was there when Photoshop first came out, and I'm looking at it going, oh, that's cool. And I've seen it evolve. We're now going to see these start to evolve to make your lives a little bit easier. Now, the thing is, they aren't going to replace you. Okay, let's get real clear on this one. The designer has to work with you. And the designer has to say, this is kind of the transition I see, or this is the motion I see, or whatever. And you're going to have to say to them, got it, or no, you're insane, can't be done. Now, the designer has to have the brains to be able to listen to you. But it's a team effort all the way across the board. So we've now got prototyping software that's all out there all over the place. It is now out as prototyping software for the masses. It's an exciting time to be involved in this business, let me tell you. And with that said, thank you. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm on Twitter, and there's my email address. Please feel free to bug me.
Go over here.
Yo.
Really fast question.
Okay, really fast answer, no. Yeah.
Perfect. As a software developer, I keep seeing all these UI UX tools like Sketch. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Now, there is the one question that I'm trying to understand is, how do you source control your stuff? Like you have a team of 3, 4, 5 UI UX guys. How do you guys do it?
Source control is a pain in the ass. Okay, and I think it's more of a corporate decision than anything else. And I think if you went to 5 different companies, you get 5 different answers on that one too.
Like as far as I know, as an example, Sketch gives you a JSON object, and maybe you can source.
No. Sketch does not give you JSON objects. That is an export app. Okay, that uses. I think it uses it uses a plugin to do that. Okay.
Okay.
When that stuff comes out, it's got to go to somebody, and that somebody had better be known right now, rather than, oh, just kicked out, the code for this object. Help yourself, gentlemen.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you've really got to put stringent controls in place. You really do. What I'm doing here with talking about this is sort of getting that stuff together and sort of working with you to get the motion and the interactivity like that. And if you want, you can actually build out the prototype and subject it to user testing and give you the ability. Yes, sir.
There's nothing wrong with using Git for all this stuff as well.
Nothing wrong with using Git?
For source control.
No, nothing. Like I said, ask five different companies how they do it, and I'll give you 5 different answers. I'm not gonna touch that third rail. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
If a company wanted to commit to teaching their designers to use HTML and JavaScript and use the browser as the means to prototype with working HTML and JavaScript, where do you think that fits in with the tools that you showed?
Okay. Whatever gets you through the night. Look, I tell my students this, okay, and you guys know this better than most. Nobody cares how you did it, they just care you damn well did it. Right? So if you go to your client or go to whoever and say, yeah, we did this with HTML and JavaScript, and thinking, boy, you're great, they're going to point at something on the screen and go, that's spelled wrong. Right? Had been there. So nobody cares how you did it. Now, that works. I have seen Keynote used. There's a lot of people talking about using Keynote for prototyping. There's now people that are using Animate CC, After Effects. They're using, you ready for this? InDesign.
Huh?
Yeah, no shit. You're using it. When I first heard that, I went, oh, come on. But apparently it works, and I'm, okay, fine, whatever gets you through the night.
Where's the interactivity?
It's built in. So these are just tools, okay? Just remember they're tools. That's all they are. You know, I go to conferences and I speak about Photoshop and Illustrator, and when I try to put them in the context of tools, I outrage Adobe because I go, yeah, Photoshop's a hammer, Illustrator's a screwdriver. And they go, what? But it is, it's just a tool. Just use the tool for the job. But in the final analysis, I said, nobody cares how you did it, they just care you did it.
Question.
Any other questions? Yes.
A little bit obscure, so I figured to ask, have you used either height or body or
No, I don't. Okay, the question, height and line?
and Lottie? So Lottie was produced by Airbnb and
Oh.
it's like After Effects, and then Height's one that they say might take the principles, but it's so new I haven't heard of any really strong criticism.
No, I haven't used.
I know it's like one a day, right?
Yeah, one a day, one a day. Bring it up, bring it up. What's next? Bring me the next little prototyping software. It's going to be fun because a lot of this stuff, someone's going to become the big dog on the street. Someone's going to do it. So, but right now, nobody's got that space. UXPin kind of has it, simply because they do a lot of tertiary marketing by using their ebooks and things like that. InVision is getting there as well. I find it to be a little disjointed in places. They're trying to do a little bit too much with everything. Has anybody tried using the Craft plugin?
Yes.
Kill me now.
Like,
Right?
and inspect. They're trying to do something.
Yeah,
like
they're doing
that.
inspect as well, yeah. Where they'll actually take the birth. It's kick out the code, isn't it?
Pardon?
They kick out the code. With inspect?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Yeah.
Excuse me. What do I think of what is? Oh, Acture. Again, you know, everybody's competing in the space, and I can't say. I really can't say. You know, they give me 20 minutes. You know, I could do like an hour, right? And then just go through them all. And again, you just come out of it going, I don't know. So again, you know, it just comes down to whatever gets you through the night.
Yeah, so my question is that I absolutely agree with you that tools are just tools for doing your job. So what do you think of paper prototype? Let's go back.
What do I think of paper prototypes? It's great. It's great. It's cheap. It doesn't cost you a cent. Really. It doesn't cost you development time. It doesn't cost you design time. You have to have, well, you got to know how to use a pencil. But paper prototyping is good, and we're starting to see paper prototyping start to show up in UI testing, even before we go into this stuff. So, you know, the reason I think for most of that is because there's a lot of money on the table, and you don't want to waste it. So if you can catch mistakes at the paper prototype stage, then they won't be made at this stage.
Google Material Design Best Practices and Apple App Design Best Practices are two different things. Do you recommend doing two different designs
No.
that conform to the best
No. The question is iOS design, which is basically the Apple HCI guidelines and Google Material Design Guidelines. Funny thing happened on the way to that. Has anybody looked at their iPhone lately? A lot of material design in there. Card-based layouts are really starting to take hold. That came out of material design. And even if you look on your Apple interface, it follows the material design spec. It's got that little 2-pixel shadow, it's got the little 15 pixels on either edge, and you know, it just follows the spec. We're also starting to see in in iOS, the what they call a floating action button, you know, those little round buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to see those show up too. So, you know, You got to follow the guidelines, of course, and especially when it comes to producing the app. But when it comes to designing it, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Anybody else?
There was one at the back, Tom.
What's there?
You said?
Yeah. So lots of those are browser-based. You probably tested out lots of them. How comfortable are you on browser-based ones versus non-browser-based ones? Like, did you have the anxiety building
Yeah, did I curl up in a little ball at night wondering, did I lose it? I have never had a problem with the browser-based ones, okay? UXPin has never gone offline, and neither has Proto. I can't speak to the others because I really haven't used a lot of them, but I think with browser-based, it comes down to, do you really feel comfortable having your stuff on someone else's server? And that's really what it comes down to. If you don't, then you're going to have to find a solution on your computer. But generally, it's fine. And if you let your account lapse, you can pull your stuff out. So it's not like it's bye, see you later, you owe us money. Any other questions? Is that it? Well, thank you.